The wealthy widower left his baby in the care of the nanny for a few hours. On returning and seeing her breastfeeding the child with such natural tenderness that it disarmed him, he was left speechless, as if the air had left his lungs. On the day of Emily's funeral, the sky did not cry. It was clear, bright, almost insultingly so. William, impeccably dressed in black, remained motionless beside the coffin with a stone-like face. He did not utter a word or shed a single tear. He simply clenched his fists inside his coat pockets, while the priest recited hollow phrases about eternity and peace. A few meters away, the sharp crying of a newborn could be heard from the car. Lily, the baby Emily left behind when she died. When everything was over, William did not return to the cemetery, nor did he look again at his wife's face. Instead, he went back to his house, an elegant but cold mansion full of marble and silence, determined not to allow himself to feel, because feeling hurt, and he no longer wanted pain. Weeks passed, and the house was full of temporary nannies, nurses, assistants who came and went, none managing to connect with the child or the man who hired them. William locked himself in his office, working until late at night. He only saw his daughter from a distance, through the monitor in her room. If she cried, someone else took care of it. If she laughed, he didn't even hear it. Margaret, his mother, began visiting him more frequently. She, a strong-willed woman with an authoritative voice, reproached him for his coldness. "This isn't healthy, William," she would say, looking at the empty crib in the baby's room. "You need help. Someone who knows how to love, not just care." It was she who, weeks later, spoke to him about a young woman named Olivia. "She's different," she insisted. "Calm, patient. Maybe that's what Lily needs." William agreed without enthusiasm. The interview was quick, formal, almost mechanical. Olivia arrived in a simple dress, her hair pulled back and a serene expression, but with a trace of sadness in her eyes that William couldn't decipher. He didn't ask personal questions, only went over schedules, routines, and strict house rules. "Nothing improvised," he said dryly. "Everything is written down." Olivia just nodded. She didn't question anything. For the first few days, William barely noticed her. She moved like a whisper through the house, carrying Lily in her arms, singing her soft songs, preparing her bottles, bathing her with tenderness. The child began to calm down, sleeping a little more, but continued to reject the bottle frequently, crying without comfort for hours. One afternoon, William returned home earlier than usual. Overwhelmed by work and needing a break, he climbed the stairs unannounced, crossed the hallway in silence. As he approached Lily's room, he heard a soft murmur. He pushed the half-open door and froze. Olivia was sitting in the armchair by the crib, holding Lily against her bare chest, breastfeeding her. William's heart skipped a beat. "What the hell are you doing?" he shouted, bursting in. Olivia jumped, quickly covering herself as she protected Lily in her arms. At that moment, the baby was sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. "Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, I can explain," Olivia stammered, her voice trembling. "This is unacceptable. How dare you? Who gave you permission for Lily?" "She wasn't eating," Olivia interrupted, tears in her eyes. "I tried all the formulas, everything. She wouldn't accept any of it. She was dehydrated, weak. I was scared." William looked at her with contained anger, but something in Olivia's voice made him pause. "I lost my baby 3 months ago," she continued, lowering her gaze. "I'm still producing milk. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't mean any disrespect. I just wanted to save her." The following silence was dense. William looked at Lily sleeping, her tiny body breathing calmly against Olivia's chest. Her face no longer held the pain she had carried for weeks. For the first time, she seemed at peace. William brought a hand to his face, feeling an unknown pang in his chest. It wasn't just anger, it was confusion, fear. It was the sensation of not having been there for his daughter when she needed him most. Without another word, he turned and left the room. That night, for the first time since Emily's death, he couldn't sleep. The morning began tense. William went down the stairs, serious-faced, like a storm about to break. In the kitchen, Olivia was preparing an herbal tea while Lily slept in her Moses basket. When she saw him enter, her body tensed immediately. "We need to talk," he said curtly. Olivia nodded silently and followed him to the office, closing the door behind her. William stood, arms crossed, looking at her intensely. "Yesterday, what you did crossed a line in this house," he said in a controlled but firm voice. "I want to know exactly what happened and why." Olivia took a deep breath, holding back the tears that threatened to spill. "It wasn't planned, Mr. Smith. Lily had been rejecting the formula for days. We changed it 3 times. Yesterday, she vomited twice. She cried for hours. I was frightened. I saw signs of dehydration, her dry lips, sunken fontanelle. I couldn't wait. I was alone." "And why are you still producing milk?" William interrupted, almost harshly. "Because I lost my son recently," she answered quietly, not meeting his eyes. "His name was Noah. He was born premature and didn't survive more than 2 weeks." The silence fell in the office like a heavy blanket. William swallowed hard. He wanted to say something, but couldn't find the words. "I kept producing milk," Olivia continued. "I thought it would stop, but it didn't. Maybe because I couldn't say goodbye to him properly, because my body didn't understand he was gone. I didn't do it out of pity. I did it out of desperation." William observed her for a long moment, no longer with anger, but a mix of confusion and something akin to guilt. He hadn't thought of all that this woman might be carrying, her story, her grief, her pain. "Is Lily okay?" he finally asked. "Yes, she ate, slept, hasn't had a fever or vomiting. Her skin looks better and she woke up calmly today," Olivia replied. William nodded slowly. Then, without another word, he opened the door for her to leave. Olivia left in silence. That night, William sat alone in his daughter's room, watching her sleep wrapped in a wool blanket with rounded cheeks. At last, he timidly approached and touched her tiny hand. Lily responded by squeezing one of his fingers. William felt something break inside him. For the first time in weeks, he stayed, watching her. The next day, he started observing more, noticing what he had been ignoring. He saw how Olivia sang softly while changing diapers, how she held Lily tenderly, talked to her as if she understood every word, and above all, how the baby responded, looking, calming down, even smiling. He didn't. William tried to hold her one morning, awkwardly, and Lily cried. He felt clumsy, useless, but Olivia said nothing, just came closer and gently guided him, without judging. "Support her like this. Yes, just like that. Your voice. Speak calmly to her." Lily settled, not completely, but at least stopped crying. Little by little, William started to change routines. He returned from work earlier, had dinner at home. Sometimes he stayed in the living room watching Olivia rock the baby. Other times, he went up himself to give her the bottle, though sometimes he ended up asking for Olivia's help when Lily rejected him. One afternoon, while going through a box of Emily's memorabilia, he found a folded letter with his name handwritten on it. "William, if you're reading this, It's because I'm no longer with you. I'm sorry, but I need to ask you something, my love. Don't lock yourself away. Don't run. Our daughter needs you, and you need her. Don't be afraid of love or pain. Only this way do we survive. Only this way do we heal. I love you. Always yours, Emily. William's hands trembled. He felt that the world stopped for a moment. That night, he went into Lily's room. Olivia was rocking her in the chair, and, on seeing him, got up to hand her over. For a second, he hesitated. Then, with resolve, he took his daughter in his arms. Lily looked at him. She didn't cry. William smiled awkwardly and spoke to her for the first time. "Hello, little one. I am your dad." Olivia stood in silence, watching. A tear escaped her eye. No one said anything more, but something, without doubt, had changed. Margaret arrived unannounced, as she always did. She never felt obliged to ask permission to visit her son's house. After all, as she liked to say, family is who holds the key to the door, to the heart, and to the hand. When she entered through the main door, the first thing she noticed was the smell of homemade food emerging from the kitchen. That surprised her. William didn't know how to cook, and previous nannies always ordered ready-made food. She followed the sound of soft voices. In the back garden, she found Olivia sitting under an umbrella, Lily in her arms. The baby was laughing, babbling sweet sounds as she grabbed Olivia's simple necklace. The scene looked straight out of a family photograph. Margaret frowned. "Good morning," she said coldly. Olivia carefully stood up, startled. "Good morning, Mrs. Margaret. I wasn't expecting your visit." "I see. You're quite comfortable," Margaret replied, casting a careful glance at the baby in her arms. William appeared soon after, dressed casually, something unusual. He was smiling. At the sight of his mother, his expression shifted slightly. "Mom, I didn't know you'd be coming." Or, "It didn't seem like you needed me, son. I see everything is under control." "It is," he answered dryly, picking Lily up in his arms. The baby snuggled against her father's chest, as if she had known him for years. Margaret said nothing for a moment, just observing, evaluating. After a coffee and a few probing questions, she finally voiced her biggest concern. "And tell me, Olivia, what did you do before this?" "I was a medical student, ma'am. I had to leave university." "And why?" Olivia hesitated. "I had a son. He died shortly after birth. I didn't have family to support me and, well, it was hard to return to study." Margaret frowned even more. It sounded like a story she wouldn't approve of. "And are you breastfeeding Lily?" she asked coldly with surgical precision. Silence fell instantly. William raised his head, tense. Olivia swallowed hard. "Yes, ma'am, it was necessary. Lily rejected all sorts of formula. She was dehydrated. I was still producing milk." "This is madness," Margaret interrupted indignantly. "You aren't her mother. It's not appropriate." "Mom!" William shouted, standing up firmly. Margaret fell silent, taken aback. Olivia saved Lily. If it weren't for her, my daughter would have ended up in the hospital. She was alone, scared, and made a decision I didn't have the courage to make as a father. She was there. But William, "No more," he interrupted. "This house will no longer be a place of coldness or appearances. That's over. My daughter needs love, and I do too." Margaret watched him for a few seconds, then stood up, offended. "Let's see how long that lasts." She left without saying goodbye. That night, the house was quiet. William still cradled Lily, now asleep in his lap. Olivia appeared in the doorway of the living room, hesitant. "Sorry about everything, Mr. Smith. I didn't mean to cause problems with your family. You didn't cause me problems. You opened my eyes. Issa. They sat in silence for a while. Then William looked at her. Why did you want to be a pediatrician? Olivia was surprised by the question. She sat slowly in the armchair next to him. Since I was a child, I've loved caring for babies, and when I was in the hospital with Noah, I saw what it meant to have compassionate doctors. I wanted to be that, but life got in the way. You never thought about going back? I think about it every day, but I didn't have money or time, and after what happened, it was even harder. William nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes I think Emily also wanted to be a doctor, but she became a designer because her father wouldn't let her study medicine. He paused and added, maybe that's why she would have wanted you here. She always said brave women deserve a safe place. Olivia smiled, moved, speechless. In the following days, something changed between them. William started coming home earlier. He cared for Lily with more confidence, even though sometimes he was awkward. He began sharing tasks with Olivia, making the effort to be present, and amidst feedings and diaper changes, conversation sprouted about movies, music, losses, dreams. One afternoon, William entered the kitchen and found Olivia laughing softly, while Lily tried to grab a wooden spoon. Never imagined seeing my daughter trying to steal cutlery would make me happy, he said. Happiness is in the simple things, Olivia replied, her eyes shining. And at that moment, without either of them saying it, they were no longer just employer and nanny. Something more had begun to grow. The mornings had changed. There was no more constant crying from Lily, nor the icy silence of the hallways. The house was alive with the smell of fresh coffee, soft laughter, and little children's songs drifting from the kitchen and garden. William watched it all silently. He saw Olivia, the way she smiled at Lily, how she organized every detail with quiet dedication, how her presence filled a void he thought would last forever. That night, after putting Lily to bed, he called Olivia to talk in the study. She came in with her hair down, not wearing her nanny's apron. She looked different. I have something for you, he said, handing her an envelope. Olivia opened it carefully. Inside was a letter of recommendation signed by William and a copy of the medical school admission form. She looked at him, not understanding. I want you to go back to study. I know it's your dream, and Lily and I can adapt. I can rearrange my work, hire a nanny in the mornings if needed, but I don't want you giving up your life for us. Not anymore. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. And if I can't? If I fail? You've already been through the worst. Whatever comes next will be easier. And you're not alone, Olivia. She approached him hesitantly. William also stepped forward. They stood there, face to face, for seconds that felt like hours. There was something in their eyes, a mixture of admiration, affection, vulnerability. The touch happened naturally, a hand on a cheek, a silent sigh, and then the soft, sincere, unexpected kiss. A kiss that asked for nothing, only said, I'm here. When they parted, Olivia breathed deeply. I don't know if this is right. I'm still the nanny. No, you're not. You're the woman who saved my daughter and me. Olivia blushed shyly. And what am I now? The mom Lily needs, and the woman I want in my life. She didn't answer immediately. She needed time. She needed to understand if what she felt was love, or just gratitude, if it was right to accept this new role. But the following days were like silent answers. William making coffee, the three of them lying on the grass, watching the clouds. Lily calling Mom for the first time. It was on a Sunday afternoon, with the sun shining gold in the garden, that everything was confirmed. Lily took her first step, then a second. She stumbled and fell into Olivia's arms, who cried and laughed at the same time. William ran to hug them both. "We did it," he whispered, holding them close. "We're a family." And in that embrace, there was no more silence, only a new beginning. I hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, may God bless you, and see you in the next story.